Amid the rising coronavirus cases, the Trump campaign struggles to get its Klan rally machine going. Um, with just 4 months until Election Day, the 45 campaign is struggling to deploy what was supposed to be a chief feature of the president's reelection effort, his signature Klan rally. But if you like the video, give it a like and subscribe to the channel. Um, and 3 weeks after the poorly attended Tulsa Klan rally event, the hangover is still being felt inside the campaign. Aides and advisors tell CNN, which is not a channel I usually watch anyway, but this is coming from the article. And safety concerns over bad weather caused the campaign to postpone a Klan rally scheduled for Saturday in New Hampshire, even as skies were expected to be clear by the time Cheeto took the stage. Attendance in Tulsa fell way short of what officials had publicly touted, and the event was widely seen as a disastrous attempt to reset the campaign in the midst of the president's trailing poll numbers. A handful of aides tested positive for the coronavirus the day after the Klan rally, and dozens more had to be quarantined afterwards. Sources close to the campaign say that the fallout shook some operatives' faith in the one area the campaign has always been able to flawlessly execute. Before the coronavirus hit, campaign officials expected to be holding 1 to 2 Klan rallies a week by now, but with the cases surging across the country, it's unclear if the campaign will ever be able to work its way up to that pace again. And while there are serious questions about whether the Klan rallies are the right strategy in the midst of this pandemic, 45's bullheaded determination to press forward with in-person events is forcing the campaign to find a way. The president's difficulty turning on his Klan rally machine is indicative of the broader problems the coronavirus poses to him. Not only has the pandemic kept him off the campaign trail, it's ruined much of his case for re-election, which means it's fucked up the economy, it's fucked up killing more than 135,000 people so far and robbing him of any argument that Americans are better off than they were 4 years ago, because they're not. Cheeto has done a relatively little in-person campaign this summer, besides a handful of closed-door fundraising events, including one on Friday night in Miami that netted $10 million and a students for 45 Klan rally in Phoenix in June. The president has largely kept off the trail. By contrast, President Barack Obama had an extremely active summer when he was running for re-election in 2012. Obama spoke at 18 different campaign events in June of 2012 and in July and 27 in July. A mix of private fundraisers and public rallies in swing states across the country, but with weak poll numbers and the bevy of challenges before the country, 45 Cheeto has not yet been able to harness the power of his signature mega Klan rallies, and at the time to do so is growing short. I think there is a growing sense of concern that the campaign isn't functioning as we want it to. One donor close to the campaign told CNN in the immediate aftermath of Tulsa. The 45 Klan rally is in many ways the central aspect of the president's political brand and the hallmark of his success as a first-time populist politician. Technically, he hasn't had any success at all. The events offer a essential psychological boost to a president who has always fed on the energy of crowds and now more than ever is in need of that boost as he stews over his sinking polls and how the pandemic has upturned his political prospects. He can't win without his Klan rallies. One Trump advisor said, pointing more to the psychological effect of the Klan rallies than anything else. When he holds those Klan rallies, it is a little bit of a release and takes some pressure off his psyche and him believing that he's not getting his narrative out and everyone's against him. Well, technically we are against him. We don't like him. In the words of a GOP strategist from a crucial swing state, he needs his Klan rallies like a kite needs wind. Beyond stoking 45's mood, his Klan rallies serve as an important strategic purpose as well. Since 2016, 45's Klan rallies have been an important engine feeding voter information into the Republican National Committee's massive database. At each Klan rally, the campaign collects personal information from some of 45's most diehard inbred supporters and email addresses and phone numbers that are then plugged into the RNC's voter file. That particular information doesn't just provide a snapshot of the president's biggest inbred fans. It also helps identify potential new voters, including those who rarely vote and are especially valuable what they call turnout targets. His Klan rallies also provide the campaign with free TV coverage from local affiliates that can amplify the president's message in parts of the country that are harder to reach. It's no accident that Cheeto has conducted several interviews in recent weeks with reporters from the local TV broadcast networks. Even the campaign seems to recognize that something has been lost with the lack of his Klan rallies. There's nothing like a 45 Klan rally, said Tim Murtaugh, the 45's campaign communications director. It's a unique phenomenon in American political theory. It's difficult to replicate that particular experience. Still, the president's political operation has found ways to get Trump to deliver a campaign-focused message at official White House events, using the power of the incumbency to deliver a pair of Independence Day speeches at Mount Rushmore and at the White House, which set the tone for a divisive re-election campaign message. We're pursuing an all of the above strategy, and our goal is to put Trump in front of as many patriotic Americans as possible, said Jason Miller, the campaign's top strategist. His Klan rallies are going to happen. They're going to be bigger than anything Joe Biden is able to pull off this year. I doubt it. Internally, several officials have blamed the campaign manager, Brad Parscale, for the for the Tulsa debacle, faulting him for not only touting the number of sign-ups, but also for badly overestimating how many people would show. Hope Hicks, one of the president's longest-serving aides, warned Parscale against touting ticket request numbers, reminding him that the number one rule in politics is not to overpromise and underdeliver. A source familiar with the matter said, but Parscale forged ahead anyway, tweeting about the 1 million ticket request the campaign had received. And I said, and for one, we're 45 held this Klan rally out in Tulsa. They were not able to fit 1 million people in there. That stadium was only able to hold like 19,000 people. And other top officials estimated before that Klan rally that a maximum of 15,000 people would likely attend by looking at the zip codes of those who had signed up using data modeling and factoring in the human element. With the ongoing pandemic, but Parscale was confident that the 19,000 person arena would be packed at the campaign, even planned for 45 to address an overflow venue. Officials say that 45's relationship with Parscale hasn't been the same since that. He does not like Brad, the advisor said, noting that 45 has taken to frequently cutting Parscale off during meetings and disagreeing with nearly every position he takes. At times ultimately agreeing with the same position when it is later reiterated by another aide in the room. It's very clear that when Brad offers a position, 45 decides to be against it, the advisor said, in response to questions about Parscale's standing. The 45 campaign sent the following statement, attributed to Lara Trump, dumb cunt, the president's daughter-in-law and a senior advisor. He has the confidence of the president and the entire family. I think Parscale probably needs to go, said the donor close to the campaign. I think a lot of folks would feel more comfortable with someone who's actually run a campaign before. So far, that hasn't happened. The biggest staff change in the wake of the Tulsa debacle, Michael Glassner, the campaign's chief operating officer who previously handled the Klan rallies, has been assigned to deal with legal affairs, but for other Republicans, their problems are less about the management and marketing and more inherent to the product itself. The candidate and the campaign don't have a good story to tell. The Klan rallies are a barometer of voter sentiment, said Dan Eberhardt, an oil executive and 45 nutlicker, told CNN, the living embodiment of 45 slumping popularity. One Republican strategist working on congressional races said 45 and the GOP need a choice election between Cheeto and Biden, that the environment isn't giving them. It's all a referendum, said the strategist. 45 is swinging at Ghost. Still some campaign officials remain confident that Tulsa was an outlier. The result of the overhyped expectations and news of campaign staffers testing positive ahead of the Klan rally. Though there are still 4 months until the election, some Republican operatives say the campaign is running out of time to turn things around. Given the amount of mail-in and early voting that will happen during this cycle, the die could be cast by September when early voting begins in some states. Without the Klan rallies, the task of bringing swing voters into the Trump fold will fall cheaply to the RNC's traditional ground game operation, unlike the core 45 campaign team. Parscale, 45's son-in-law and senior advisor dumbass Kushner, and the president himself, the get out the vote side is run by old political hands with years of experience in the GOP politics. That includes the veteran operatives such as Katie Walsh-Shields, currently the senior advisor for data at the RNC, who spent years working for the party, and Chris Carr, the political director for the campaign and the RNC. Carr worked for the National Republican Congressional Committee during the Tea Party wave in 2010, and she is an RNC campaign veteran. Campaign officials boast of the experience and institutional knowledge behind the 45 data operation, what Parscale has called the Death Star, which can work in tandem with the RNC's powerful voter file. Even with fewer Klan rallies and country upended by the pandemic, The years of work put into learning as much as they can about the voters mean 45 and the GOP have a leg up on Democrats, says one 45 campaign official familiar with the data team. This process is much more scientific than it has ever been, and it is a lot more accurate, said Rick Gorka, the spokesman for the 45 Victory Fund, the joint operation between the campaign and the RNC voters. Voters tend not to just show up organically. You need to find a way to motivate them and convince them to participate. We've never stopped doing that because of the digital operation. While there has been consternation from donors about several aspects of 45's re-election campaign, there's more confidence about how well the 45 data operation and the RNC ground game can work together. On Monday, the RNC and the campaign announced they have now hired 1,500 field staffers, and 45 campaign aides described the ground operation as the largest ever assembly by a Republican nominee. I think it's a lot bigger and a lot more effective, and it's gone loco. Doug Deason, a Dallas businessman, Repub donor, and 45 fundraiser, said of the 45 and party ground name, it's a lot more local than it was. It's much more organized. There are a lot more people on the ground, a lot more people on the phones. Technically, I don't see that. Deason, who skipped the Tulsa Klan rally over concerns about the COVID-19 transmission and anti-45 protests, insisted that even without the Klan rallies, 45's inbred base remains solidly behind the squatter so he can finish the job of disrupting the status quo in Washington. He's been disrupting a lot of people, right? But not disrupting the status quo. He's been basically been pissing people off. He'll be able to really break up and bust up DC in a second term. DC instead of 45, technically 45 is not getting a second term. You didn't hire him to be a wonderful woman of our trillion because he isn't. What you hired him for was to basically protect us in the time of need, and that's not what he's showing.